Oh, welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm your power ranking specialist, Brandon Perna. I know everything there is to know about power. As I read the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, I have power steering and I edited this video in PowerPoint. Today, I'll rank the powers that each playoff team possesses for the wildcard round, and of course, spin the curse wheel at the end of the episode to determine which team will face two opponents this weekend. The intangible curse and the real opponent. That's good sports. Hey, unless you want to get restless leg syndrome, subscribe to this YouTube channel. New year, new you, new pubes. Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped.com/thatsgoodsports. It might be time to upgrade your dong tongs, and that's why I recommend the Performance Package 4.0 with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. A cordless, waterproof, below-the-belt groomer that you can use in the shower. Please trim in the shower and stop trying to complete the trim your pubes during your work Zoom call challenge. It's weird. With the Performance Package, you get the lawnmower and the weed whacker to clear out those nasty nose holes, and the crop preserver and reviver to shine and de-smellify your balls. If you think someone other than yourself may be looking at your naked pelvic area, put your best phallus forward with the ultimate grooming kit. And use my link below, manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off, plus free international shipping and 2 free gifts. Manscaped. All right, coming in at number 14, I've got the Steelers. I don't know if I ever put the Steelers in my power rankings at all this year. If I did, maybe it was week 1, but they did beat a hobbled Ravens team. Barely. And are in with the ticket to the dance. Their path to the Super Bowl is clear. Defense, defense, defense. Big Ben's final season reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning's final season, and Ben is actually in a better spot physically and a more capable passer than Manning was in his farewell season. Like those 2015 Broncos, I think the key to Steelers' wins in the postseason are a couple early scores so they can unleash their pass rush every play. That said, the difference between the Steelers and the 2015 Broncos is Denver had the number 1 seed, and their defense from top to bottom was better. The only key category the Steelers are top 10 defensively is sacks. And they are number 1. Najee Harris finished the season with 307 rushing attempts, and that was after not getting 20 carries in a single game until ding, 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 the Steelers played the Broncos and won in October 10th. My point? Feed Najee, especially against the Chiefs. Number 13, I've got the Eagles. We will find out very quickly whether or not resting the starters was the right move. We all know how Philly can win this weekend. 300 rushing yards and 40 minutes time of possession. A deceptive area for Philly is quarterback sacks. They tallied the second fewest in the league with just 29 this season. Atlanta had a putrid 18 sacks, by the way. TJ Watt had more sacks than the entire Falcons defense this year. Gross. That said, Philly has generated 269 QB pressures, which is just 2 less than the Steelers at 271, who did have the most sacks again. This is actually a really important metric for playoff teams, in my opinion. The top QB pressure artists right now are the Rams, Packers, Steelers, 49ers, Raiders, Eagles, Cowboys, Cardinals, and Bills. They're all top 10. They're all in the postseason. Philly's wildcard success, much like in 2017, will be driven by that defensive front in Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Fletcher Cox, and Derek Barnett. Number 12, I've got the Raiders. Derek Carr gets to start in his first ever playoff game. Had he not broken his leg, he would have after the 2016 season. I think Derek Carr is what we Broncos fans hoped Teddy Bridgewater would be this year. Honestly, Teddy was on pace to finish the season with a better touchdown to interception ratio than Carr. Both QBs had a passer rating at 94, and both mastered the art of never throwing for more than 2 touchdowns in a game. Derek did just enough, though, to beat the Chargers and Vegas is in the playoffs. If the Raiders want to last more than one game, though, Carr's got to find a different gear because I'm not sold the Raiders' run game will be as successful against the Bengals, who have given up the 5th fewest rushing yards this season, as it was against the Chargers, who allowed the 3rd most. I'll be watching Darren Waller as well. Derek Carr plays his best ball when Waller is in the zone, and last week was Waller's first game since November 25th. And I think he was sort of knocking off the rust. Number 11, the Cardinals. The Cardinals limped into the playoffs this season, but I'd rather limp into the playoffs than be erect and not be there. There's really no evidence that momentum carries into the postseason anyway. At least that's what the Cardinals better be telling themselves. The Cards split their 2 games with the Rams this season, actually winning in LA and losing in Arizona. Those teams scored a combined 110 points in those 2 matchups, so we could get a really fun game on Monday night. Really good news for the Cards? They do get J.J. Watt back for the playoffs. DeAndre Hopkins might return, possibly if they can advance. Bad news? Those guys are very experienced at losing in the postseason. Number 10, I've got the Patriots. This team had the 1 seed in their hands after upsetting the Bills in their 3-pass game, but ended the season losing 3 of 4. A big reason they stumbled is because old Mac Jones struggled down the stretch, throwing 5 interceptions in their last 4 games. 2 more than Trevor Lawrence had in that same stretch, and the same number of wins. They had the same number of wins as the Jags. Zach Wilson, by the way, threw no picks in his last 5 games. When Mac Jones actually had to throw the ball downfield against the Bills, it did not go well. 14 for 32, 145 yards, no TDs, and 2 picks. The Bills made him look like a rookie QB. And the last rookie quarterback to win a game in the playoffs was Russell Wilson in 2012. History, not on their side. Number 9, the Los Angeles Rams. After blowing a huge lead against the 49ers to close out the season, it's very apparent that the Rams have a Matthew Stafford problem. He is in playoff form. Unfortunately, that's not a good thing when you're talking about Matthew Stafford. The Rams turned the ball over 8 times in their last 3 games, and all of those were either interceptions or fumbles by their quarterback. Ultimately, though, the Rams won 5 of their last 6 after losing 3 straight in the middle of the season, and a big reason for that is Von Miller coming alive. Von had 5 sacks and 8 QB hits in his last 4 games as a Ram. 8, I've got the Bengals. You could probably figure this out with the eye test, but Joe Burrow had the most deep ball touchdowns this season, and oh boy, we love deep balls. 13 touchdowns of 20 or more yards. Kyler Murray, in terms of playoff QBs, has the second most at 9. That's amazing if it keeps working, but I think hitting those deep TD passes gets considerably harder in the postseason, and the worry will be keeping Burrow upright against a slate of defenses that can pressure the quarterback. 7, it's the 49ers. The 49ers are the hottest team heading into the playoffs, and out of all the wildcard teams, I bet you no one wants to face the 49ers. I wouldn't either. Jimmy Garoppolo is playing clutch football. Nick Bosa is terrorizing offenses, picking up 15.5 sacks this season, plus 4 forced fumbles, and their biggest weapon of all is no longer George Kittle. No, it's Deebo Samuel. Welcome to the Deebo Samuel Show. Samuel actually finished the season with more rushing touchdowns than he did receiving. 8 rushing, 6 receiving, and 1 passing TD. That's insane for a wide receiver that put up 1,400 receiving yards. But he's basically Cordarrelle Patterson on steroids and the TB12 diet. Best of both worlds. Number 6, Cowboys. The Cowboys desperately needed a good Dak Prescott game to end the season, and they got one. Dak threw 5 touchdowns against the Eagles. Well, it was the Eagles' second team defense, but still 5 touchdowns. Out of all the wildcard matchups, the 49ers and the Cowboys are the only teams to have not played each other in the regular season. Ooh, so much mystery here. Dak was not in the lineup the last time these two teams played back in 2020, and I wouldn't look too much into that game given that the 49ers were starting Nick Mullins while the rest of the roster was screwed over by COVID. You could make a case that the 49ers should be favored against the Cowboys with how these two teams played down the stretch, but Dallas is a 3-point favorite at home and's got a pretty dangerous defense. 5, Bills. The Bills are really good, and I think out of all the teams playing this weekend, they have as good of a shot to win the Super Bowl as anyone. Buffalo finished the season allowing the fewest points in the league on defense and scoring the third most. In fact, the Bills scored at least 27 points in each of the last 5 games, winning their last 4. It looks like the Bills will be without Emmanuel Sanders, which does make me sad. But Gabe Davis, damn it, has been filling in for him exceptionally. I mentioned Zach Wilson earlier, being safe with the football through his last 5 games. Well, in the season finale, Buffalo held him to a completion percentage of 35 and sacked him 9 times. I think the Bills might feast on McCorkle this weekend. Right now, it looks like Devin Singletary is the X factor for the Bills. In Buffalo's last 4 games, he's scored at least 1 TD every week. 6 of his 8 touchdowns this season have come in the last 4 weeks. Whatever he's doing, especially if it's HGH, keep doing it, baby. Josh Allen has kind of been all over the place the last 4 games as well, but if he can lean on Singletary when he's struggling in the passing game a little bit, Buffalo can weather any storm this postseason, specifically Hurricane Bill and Mudslide Stevie. Number 4, it's the Chiefs. A near loss to the Broncos has you falling behind the Buccaneers, Kansas City, exactly where you were last year at this time. If not for Melvin Gordon getting blown up, and because they weren't really trying, I think the Broncos win that game. But that doesn't change the fact that the Chiefs won 9 out of their last 10 this season, and were a Week 7 loss in Tennessee away from getting the 1 seed in the AFC for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. I do think this Chiefs team has an emerging weakness, and it's their normally stout corner, Charvarius Ward, who got lit up like a Christmas tree by Jamar Chase, and even got beat by Broncos wide receivers on numerous occasions. Did he accidentally contract to Sorensen? I don't know. I also saw the Broncos physically beat down Tyrann Mathieu on several occasions. The Steelers need to take advantage of a currently shaky Chiefs secondary. Of course, I have absolutely no confidence in that happening. I believe Ben Roethlisberger's career will come to an end Sunday night in Arrowhead Stadium. Number 3, Buccaneers. Tom Brady got an entire extra game and still didn't break Peyton Manning's 2013 passing records. Manning threw for 5,477 yards in 16 games on just 659 attempts. Old Tommy Terrific had just 5,316 on 719 attempts. 60 extra attempts is like 2 more games, and Tom was still 12 touchdowns short of tying Manning's 55 TDs that season. Plus, Peyton threw 2 fewer picks and was not shut out. Yes, I'm using Tampa slot to hype up Peyton Manning, future partial owner of the Denver Broncos. That said, the Buccaneers are about to get a bunch of key players back. Leonard Fournette, Shaq Barrett, and JPP. Yeah, you know me. Number 2, it's the Titans. After Danny Amendola and Rex Burkhead combined for close to 200 yards from scrimmage against the Titans, my biggest fear is the Patriots of 2017 might beat this team in the postseason. That could very well be the Buccaneers, I guess, in the Super Bowl. Anyway, enjoy the bye week, Tennessee. Everything is Derrick Henry moving forward. At number 1, I've got the Packers. Thank you for proving the curse still works, Green Bay. And you're welcome. I cursed you last week in a game that didn't matter. And I think you put great karma into the playoffs by letting the Lions win. And now I will spin the wheel, the wild card wheel of pain. Actually, I think I need to change 1 and 2 to 11 and 12 because Titans and Packers are on a bye. Let's make that official. Well, I'm not gonna go upstairs where the dry erase marker is, but just know 1 is 11, 2 is 12. The curse. Great production value. No dry erase marker. The curse. Oh. Lucky 7 goes to the 49ers. In full transparency, I had to reshoot this episode because my card fucked up. And the first time I did this, the Chiefs got the curse. So if the 49ers and the Chiefs lose, Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here, and if you want to watch more of my videos, check out the video on the screen right now. That's YouTube's recommended video for you. Best for viewer is what this video is, according to YouTube. You think YouTube's a liar? Well, check the video out and see if they're a little fucking liar.